guys, what is going on? My name is Nikki Pebbles and I am so excited to be talking to you guys today about branding. I am a branding and social media strategist and I love helping female entrepreneurs find their voice in their business and in their brand and in their bodies. So it is a really exciting topic for me and I absolutely love it. So I'm so excited to be talking to you about it today. So let's get started. So when it comes to branding, right, I think a lot of the times we always think about colors and fonts and websites and logos, right? And although that's really a very important external part of your brand, a lot of people fail to talk about the internal part of your brand, and that is your core values, your power, something I like to call your power statement, what you stand for in your business. Right? Because look, you can always change your colors, you can always change the fonts, you can always change the logos, right? All of that can always change. But if your core values aren't strong, you're gonna fall apart. You're gonna fall apart. You're gonna work with people who you shouldn't be working with. You're gonna have clients that you shouldn't be working with. You're gonna work with companies, brands that you shouldn't be working with because they don't align with your core values. So let's just go over that really quick. Let's figure out what your core values are. So I like to look at your brand much like a house, right? So your house, if you look at a house, right, you see the paintings, you go inside, you have the living room with the kitchen and the couches and the tables and all of these really great components, right? And that's how you can think about your logos and your colors. All of that stuff is all beautiful paint and stuff, right? It can always be changed. But what holds that house up is the foundation, right? Are the pillars. The pillars hold the house up. Because remember, if a storm comes through, the living room and the tables and the light fixtures are not going to hold that house up, right? That storm's going to come right through and knock it down. But if that house has a really firm foundation and a really firm pillar system holding it up, doesn't matter what storm comes through, it's always going to stay firm because its foundation never changes. All right, so that's what I want you to think about when it comes to your brand. So I always like to talk about 4 core values, all right? And this is really just simple words. So for me, I think that energy, these are my core values: energy, entrepreneurship, femininity, and I would say freedom. Those are my 4 core values. Now, I pick entrepreneurship because obviously I'm an entrepreneur and it's just in me. It's something that I love to empower women with. I think empowerment and entrepreneurship kind of go into one, so those 2 words kind of become one for me. But I just want everyone to feel empowered when they look at my stuff. Whether it's a Facebook Live, whether it is a Facebook post, whether it's an email, whether it's a text message, I want them to feel empowered by me, right? And they always know I want to empower them through my entrepreneurship. I want them to feel like they can be the CEO of their life, right? So that is for empowerment and entrepreneurship. 2, energy. So obviously I have a lot of energy and it's not like I'm so for the woo-woo stuff. I love woo-woo, but that's not really part of my business. That's more of a belief, right? When I say energy, I want you to feel excited when you watch my stuff. I want you to be like, yeah, I got this, right? You do a little happy dance like, when you watch my stuff. I want you to feel that energy. Okay, so that's that. Femininity, being feminine. So I would say I'm like an equal part tomboy, equal part girly girl. I love getting dressed up, but I also, like, as you can see, like I love my sweatshirts and my yoga pants. But I think for me, being feminine means having permission to be a powerful woman. I think so many times we're told to be smaller, to not be as loud, to be quiet, and that's the complete opposite of what I want to show in my brand. I want women to feel loud, to own their feminine power. So that's what I want them to feel within themselves when they look at my brand. And then lastly, freedom. Whether that means to you leaving your 9 to 5, whether that means dancing, whether that means leaving your relationship, wearing red lipstick, whatever it is, whatever gives you freedom, right? Freedom is a huge word for me because I feel freedom in so many different aspects of my life, and I want you to feel like you have freedom. So those are my 4 components, right? And that's what I want you to think about when it comes to your core values. So when you get a chance, I want you to write down 4 simple core values, all right? So that's first. So you have your core values. From those core values, I want you to think about your power statement. So what your power statement is, it's super, super simple. It's not your elevator pitch, right? It's not a minute long, it's not this huge mission statement. Where the power statement came from was when I started going to networking events or even just family parties and told people would be like, well, what do you do? And I would tell them, well, I'm a branding strategist and social media ninja. And, well, I didn't say ninja back then. I would just say social media and branding strategist. And they would look at me like I had 4 heads. Like they'd be like, what are you talking about? Or even if you just say, God forbid, you say, I'm an entrepreneur. People look at you sometimes like, oh, so that means you don't have a job, right? Like that's the association that they make. So I came to develop the power statement. And what the power statement really just stands for is what you're passionate about, right? What you're passionate about. What makes you just want to wake up in the morning and say, yes, yes, I get to do my job today. Like that's that feeling, right? That excited feeling, what you're passionate about. So when it comes to breaking down your power statement, I'll give you an example. So my power statement is I help female entrepreneurs find power in their bodies and in their business. Boom. Done. Simple. So you break that up into who you're serving, right? So whoever your target market is where how you begin that. So I help blank, and then it becomes an action. So what you're passionate about. So you're not going to say I help female entrepreneurs learn that I'm a social media strategist, right? Like you want to actually talk about what you do, what you're delivering, what you're passionate about. So it's who you're serving and then what you're passionate about. And it's simple. It's no more than 2 sentences. If you're going on to 4 sentences, even 3 sentences, it's too long. Super simple. That power statement is said everywhere, from Facebook Lives to interviews to blogs to vlogs, everywhere. It's said whenever you introduce yourself. That is the power of the power statement. And trust me, it's going to make family parties and holidays so much easier because it makes people ask the why. They're like, oh, that's super interesting. You're giving them an action. You're giving them a passion. So it starts a conversation versus having them ask you like, what is that? And then you're on defense, right? You're already defensive. This gives them a way to ask more. And then you can kind of go into it and explain yourself and explain your passion a little bit more. All right. So we went over core values. Then we went over power statement. So I know another really big issue that people have when it comes to their brand is creating content that's associated with your brand. And I'm here to say that everything that you post has to go through your 4 pillars. So before you even post anything, think to yourself, does this have to do with any of my 4 pillars? Right? Everything that I post, from Snapchat to Facebook to Instagram, everything goes through my mind with my 4 pillars, with my core values. Everything. If it doesn't match it, I'm not putting it up, right? Everything goes with it. Even if it's a picture of my dog, I find a way to associate that with my business. Whether if I have a picture of, I have a Yorkie who's like adorable, and like let's say I want to take a picture of her, well, I can easily just be like, with my business partner for the day, and like make a cute little smirk, right, with it. But I'm never going to post something that's just like, here's my dog, right? It always has to do with my business. Another really easy way to come up with content is thinking about your client's pain points, their struggles. Sit back and think to yourself, what is it that my client struggles with every day? What questions are they asking, right? What questions are they asking? What struggles are they going through? And then once you do that, you could also, the beautiful nature of social media, you can also go on Facebook and you can ask, hey followers, what is it that you struggle most with boom? It could be with social media, it could be with fitness. Fill in the blank of what you do. But ask your audience, what is it that they're struggling with? What is it that you want to know more about? You literally could create a whole bank of content just from coming up with your struggles of your clients and their pain points and what they want to hear. It's that simple. There's content everywhere. You just need to look in the right places for it. All right, so I hope this really helped. Just coming up with what your brand is, what your brand stands for, and then how to apply that over into your content. And listen, like I said, visually, your external, like your colors and your logos, they're very important, but you're not going to be able to get the right logo, the right colors, if you don't have that core value system already down pat. All right, so thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope this was helpful. If you have any more questions, please feel free to drop me a line on my website at www.nikkipevels.com. I would love to see you there. And thank you guys so much.